Hey folks! Today we're going to talk a little bit more about my Get Healthy weight loss journey. I just want to expand on some things a little bit more, and I found my list of all the things that have changed. Then I also found a journal entry from about 1 month into changing my eating style. So I'm going to share that with you because you can tell that I'm super stoked in it. So I changed the way that I ate in November of 2018, and the graph shows that the graph shows that it's a steady downward decline of my weight, but it also is kind of jiggity-jaggedy all the way down. So I go up and down, up and down, up and down the whole damn way, the whole way. And I put little notes next to, because I would track my weight. I'm a computer geek, spreadsheet geek. I had a spreadsheet tracking my weight from that whole time. And I would lose a few pounds, gain half a pound, lose a few pounds, gain 2 pounds, lose a few pounds. And so it was good to know that that's how that goes. And I think that's going to be true for a lot of people. So if you're a spreadsheet geek, go ahead and get that set up for yourself, because it's kind of fun to watch it. And of course I had to make a chart on it. That's how I am. I think I said in a previous video that I lost like 7.3 pounds in the first week. No, that was the first month. But a lot of people do lose a lot of weight in the very first couple of weeks. I think, I don't have it with me. I think I lost like 3.5 pounds the first week. But I know a friend of mine that's doing keto, and she lost 14 pounds in the first 2 weeks, and that's really something. That is super something. But see, I never came right out of the gate doing keto, so I didn't start right out of the gate doing hardcore keto. I just stopped wheat, and then months later quit sugar and all grains. So whatever eating style you choose is going to impact how fast you heal and how fast the weight comes off. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you feel like you want a faster weight loss, then you're going to have to go keto, if not ketovore or carnivore. I think the best mindset to have is to focus on health first, and then the weight will just regulate itself. Your natural weight will optimize to where it should be. This is my journal entry that I found. So this is December 29th of 2018. Stopped eating wheat a month ago, minus a cracker here or there. Within a matter of days, I feel 1,000,000 times better. All joint pain, gone. Bloating, gone. That feeling like I'm going to explode when I bend over, gone. I remember that because I still, when I bend over to tie my shoes, I still wait for that pressure, that feeling like my face is just going to explode. And I don't have that anymore, and I just smile every single time. I'm just like, this is so great. Even after all these years, I'm just like still stunned by little things like that. Let's see, back to the journal. I can't seem to ditch the brain fog yet. I hope that comes soon. I'm still kind of waiting on that. I don't have brain fog anymore, but I just really feel like I could be sharper than I am. Blood pressure is amazing. I'm so happy. I'm so healthy at 55, #winning. Range of motion has significantly increased, and my chronic red chest is gone. I used to always be red right here, like just my skin kind of looked like super inflamed, and people would comment on it all the time. You're burned, and it'd be dead middle of winter. No, I'm not burned. I'm just a freak. But that's gone. And no heartburn or acid reflux. So I'm so glad I found that. Anyway, it says, since I stopped eating grains and started a paleo keto-ish diet, overall body inflammation is gone. My face is deflated because I'm telling you, I felt like I had a big old stop sign face. That's not pretty. Joint pain, gone. Energy is up. Sleep is amazing. Hot flashes, gone. I'm telling you what, if you're in menopause or perimenopause or whatever pause, and you're getting hot flashes, lower your carbs and watch your hot flashes disappear. Swear to Jesus. Go ahead. Give it a try. Hormones are regulated, which is directly related to hot flashes, and In case you didn't know, insulin is the overall hormone regulator. Insulin is a hormone and it kind of regulates all of your hormones. So once you get your insulin right, all the rest of your hormones kind of regulate. And that's why your hot flashes are gone and mood swings and all that fun PMS stuff and all that good stuff. Get rid of it. Skin is bright and smooth, heartburn gone, decreased weight. And at that time, oh, okay, there's the date. That's May 10th of 2019. At that time, I had lost 25 pounds. No more mood swings. I get less winded when I exercise. I don't feel like my face is going to explode when I bend over. No more blood sugar spikes and ravenous hunger or shakes, because I used to, you know, I used to get so like hungry, like I'm gonna gnaw off my own arm, kind of hungry, you know, and I get shaky and hangry. That's a blood sugar thing. That's a blood sugar situation. Decreased frequency in urination. That's also a blood sugar thing. Perfect poops. Reduce my blood pressure medications by over 80%. Overall more calm and relaxed. I wake up easier and refreshed, not groggy or mad to have to get up at all. I mean, I had my days, but overall, these are kind of overall things. Bathroom urgency is greatly reduced. Increased range of motion in my body, especially my neck. Weird foot pain, like was asleep and then waking up. So I had tingly, prickly feelings in the bottom of my, especially my right foot, but I had it a little bit in both feet. Well, I was never diagnosed with this, but that was peripheral neuropathy, and that took the longest to go away. That took about a year for that to go away. This other stuff was a matter of days to weeks to a couple of months, maybe. That peripheral neuropathy, I took Dr. Berg, he's a chiropractor online, and I started following him like right out of the gate and learned some really good stuff from him. And he suggested to take benfotiamine for, I don't remember if it was specifically neuropathy or if it was just for no, it was for nerves, which is neuropathy. Yeah, it was a nerve situation. And so he recommended taking benfotiamine to correct that. And so I did that for a solid year, and it took that long for that pain, for those prickly feelings, like to go away. Like I didn't notice it all the time, but I specifically noticed it when I would get out of bed in the middle of the night and take that first step, and it felt like my foot had been asleep and was kind of waking back up again. And I never said anything to my doctor about it, because I just learned to live with all those aches and pains for so long, because they come in so slowly that you don't really notice it until they're gone, and then all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, this is amazing. So that took a while to go away, and that's a pretty significant symptom of a diabetic, is to have peripheral neuropathy, which is really fucking hard to say. And then last but definitely not least, metabolic syndrome, gone. And I was diagnosed with that, and now I'm not. So that's awesome. So after 3-ish years, I implemented intermittent fasting, and that was hard. Here's why it was hard. Because I would, I started out just trying to go till noon without eating. And so I was still working then, and that was fine. That was what was really great about it, is that I didn't have to dink around with bringing in snacks. I didn't have to mess around with the breakfast. I just drank a cup of black coffee in the morning, out the door. It was great. Now, intermittent fasting is really easy to do when you eat a low carb diet. If you're eating high carbs and then you're trying to intermittent fast, you got to deal with the whole blood sugar spike thing, and your blood sugar and insulin are going to raise, and then they're going to crash, and then you're going to get really, really hungry, and it's really hard to fast when you're super freaking hungry. So because I had already changed the way that I ate, and I was eating low carb, I started to implement intermittent fasting because I wanted to lose some more weight. and it's really good for you. It clears out all your old junky cells, like kind of cleans house. Get a little cell sweeper out and clean out all the old shitty cells. But it was difficult for me at first. And what I didn't realize is that because of my age and because I was going into menopause, that my adrenal glands were taking over for my ovaries in producing estrogen, and I was experiencing some adrenal fatigue. And so I would literally feel when I got hungry, when I got hungry, I would literally feel stressed, like super stressed, like something really was really going on in my life. And I'm like, what the hell? Why do I feel so freaking stressed out? There's literally nothing happening. Well, I didn't learn what was happening until literally like last week. And I'm talking about this was going on over a year ago. So when I started to feel stressed like that, I would just be like, okay, it's not worth this. Whatever's happening is not worth it. So I'm just going to eat. And I had to gradually push out my fasting window a little bit longer and longer and longer, instead of just trying to go at it right out of the gate and do like an 18-hour fast and then a 6-hour eating window, which is where I'm at now. So I think I could make it till 11, and then I would eat. And then after a few months, I pushed it till noon, and now I'm golden until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I try to eat from between 2 in the afternoon until 8 at night, preferably earlier, because the earlier I stop eating, the better I sleep at night. So I don't know. So that's what's great about intermittent fasting, besides the fact that if you want to lose a little bit more weight, that's super helpful. It is freeing not to have to fuck around with food all the time. You know, I used to have a drawer full of snacks at work. I would make sure that I brought in, even when I changed my eating style, I would bring in cheese and sausage and whatever in case I got hungry during the day. God forbid you get hungry. I probably had keto snacks in my desk drawer too. I don't actually remember. I would bring in veg and dip and stuff like that. But I always had to plan that shit out. You always had to plan a breakfast, all that stuff, and to just eliminate all that was awesome. It was super freeing. I feel like I saved a bunch of money too. So now I eat one large meal, and then usually around 2-ish, because I'm retired now and I can do that. I eat like an official old person. So I eat a larger meal around 2-ish, and then a smaller, not even really a meal later, 5, 6, 7, I'll eat some cheese and sausage and some nuts or whatever, some olives, like a charcuterie dinner, some veg and some homemade dill dip or something like that with some kind of a fat. Or if I know that it's going to be one of my beloved popcorn nights, then I won't have that evening snack and the popcorn, and usually red wine will be my evening snack. Which that was usually on Tuesdays for This Is Us, and now This Is Us is no more. During that whole time too, I also, the only exercise that I really did, I didn't do any like high intensity exercise. I just did some yoga and stuff at home, some stretching. I have a what I call a kitchen workout, which I will share with you in another video. It's just, I think 5 or 6 different things that you can do in the kitchen while you're cooking. Like if you're stirring, you're at the stove and you're stirring stuff, you can do push-ups on your counter. You can do squats, stuff like that. So I'll do a little video on that and maybe show you guys how I do it. So I'm still doing the intermittent fasting thing now. Like I said, it's 18 hours fasting and a 6-hour eating window. When I first started fasting too, I would just like kind of ravenously eat. I was like, I would almost binge. So I wish I would have found Dr. Mindy Pelt's Fast Like a Girl. I wish I would have found out about her earlier on in my fasting experience, because I did some research with it with Jason Fung, Dr. Jason Fung, who is like a fasting expert, and of course I obsessively studied that stuff, but it didn't really specify fasting for a woman of menopausal age, and that, I think that makes a big difference. And I also didn't, no one really said that maybe I should like ease into it, or I missed that or whatever. But so if you decide in the future, I wouldn't try it right out of the gate when you change your eating style. Just maybe in the future when you plateau, like if your weight loss and your health goals have kind of stabilized, maybe then start to think about incorporating intermittent fasting, and then ease into it. It's just so much easier if you ease into it. But it's freeing, and it's nice that I don't have to worry about, oh, I got to grab something to eat. I can go, literally, if I'm out working in the garden or whatever in the summertime, I can go all day long, piece of cake, no problem whatsoever. You feel hungry, but then it's just a hunger pang, and then that goes away. It's not like you don't get hungry and then hungrier and hungrier, and it doesn't just keep growing and growing and growing. It's a hunger pang, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm hungry. And then you carry on and it goes away. And then maybe a couple hours later, you get another hunger pang. Okay, so where I am now, I started going to the gym last week. I got a gym membership at Planet Fitness. I got a gym membership at Planet Fitness. Wow. So where I am now, I got a gym membership to Planet Fitness, and I am shocked to find out that I really like working out. Okay, I get it's only been a week, literally a week today. I get that. But here's why I like it. Because before, when I worked out, I felt like I was going to fucking die. For real. Like, I could feel the tension in here. Just the slightest little bit of effort. I was just so damn unhealthy. It's not even funny. Looking back, just the slightest little bit of effort, I would just get like so freaking hot. And it was just very, very uncomfortable. And now I get on the treadmill, and do I get a little hot? Sure. But I'm not like dying. Like, it's the sweat's just not pouring off of me. Plus, I don't like to sweat, so that is really awesome. That is like a favorite. So it's just way more enjoyable now, like I said, because I don't feel like I'm going to freaking die. My mobility is increased so much that I can work on these machines again and not feel like I'm going to die or ruin something or break something or hurt myself. So that's fun. It's just a lot more enjoyable. So I think that I'll probably stick with it. I chose the cheaper membership because just in case I didn't stick with it, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. The thing that really made me want to have an actual gym membership is, one, I don't have enough room in my house. I have a little bitty house. My basement has very low ceilings. I don't have room down here for more shit. And Planet Fitness, they have a $10 a month membership, which is great. I mean, I waste more than that every month, easily. So I'm super stoked about that. Another reason that I wanted a gym membership is because last year, a couple of my friends in the wintertime slipped and fell and got really hurt badly. And while I would prefer to walk outside, I don't want to take that risk. I don't want to be out however many miles away from home and hit an ice patch and bust my ass all over and then have to lay there and wait for somebody to help me or call for help. So that's another reason. Plus, if it's too cold out, I'm not going out. And if it's too hot out, I'm not going out. And if I can be in a climate-controlled gym, then I'm probably going to go. And for me, because I'm retired now, that's another thing that makes it so much easier. These damn cats, for real. Being able to go to the gym whenever I feel like it it's everything, for real. I will save all the evenings and the weekends for all the people that that have to work, but I see a bunch of my retired homies at the gym now, which is super fun. So another thing in the spring and summer and fall that I do that I count as working out, I call it garden yoga. Because when you're in the garden, you have to hold poses, like you have to hold positions for a long time. And it really starts to strengthen your body. And I notice at the beginning of the year to the end of the year how much I've improved physically in strength in that amount of time. So if that's something that you love to do, just kind of be a little bit more mindful about it when you're out in the garden, you know, hold those poses a little bit longer and just pay attention to how you feel at the beginning of the season versus how you feel at the end of the season. I think it's pretty cool. So my camera shut off and I was on a roll. I believe what I was talking about was exercising and finding something that you love that you're going to continue to do that just gets your body moving. I don't feel like you have to go to the gym and work and power workout, or you don't have to power walk around town or whatever unless you like it. Then if you like it, hell yeah, do it. But the best exercise is the exercise that you're going to do. One thing that I did late last year that I'm super stoked about is I got my bicycle converted into an e-bike. It was kind of expensive, but I didn't want to buy another bike and then not use that bike too, because I have a nice Trek bike that I've had for a long time, a good 10 years, and I never rode that thing. And I think the month or so in the late fall that I've had it converted into an e-bike, I rode it more in that month than I did in the entire 10 years that I've had it. So that is super fun, and it's so cool to get out on our bike trails. We have beautiful bike trails. It's so cool to get out and see like a lot of the bike trails in a single shot, instead of when I was walking the bike trails, I'd only see, you know, just the same little circle that I would walk, my little route. So that's super fun. That's something that I'm going to do a lot more of this coming year. So that's my advice, is to just find something that you like to do and keep on doing that. And where do I see myself going in the future? Definitely always going to be low carb, no sugar, no grains. That's not going to change. With a goal of getting closer to keto. Yep. Increase my meats, increase my fats, decrease my veg. Definitely going to do that as much as I can. Still going to eat popcorn probably at least once a week. Maybe I can cut that down to just once a week, because right now I usually do it on twice a week. We'll see. And then just continue to make these videos that can potentially inspire and help people. That's what I see in my future. Okay, everybody, it's been great to hang out with you again. And remember, let food be thy medicine, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.